We are going to see over 150 ranked wrestlers this weekend at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. An amazing event getting going December 6th and 7th. You can watch everything live on Flow. And year out, this is the toughest regular season tournament. And I'm going to give you the 6 reasons I'm most excited to watch Cliff Keen, Las Vegas this year. Starting with number 6. It's about 125s, but specifically NC State's Vince Robinson. Now, we've watched this guy in the first month, and he's kind of been one of the bigger stories, right? But now at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas, we could find out just how good Vince Robinson actually is. Now, if you look at this field, it could have Richard Figueroa. I don't think we'll see him. He's been out with injury. But apart from Richie, you could have Troy Spratley, Matt Ramos, NCAA finalist, Caleb Smith, All-American for Nebraska, Jory Volk, All-American, Tanner Jordan, Eddie Ventresca, a former All-American, among others. There's other tough guys, NCAA qualifier level wrestlers. And so for Vince Robinson, how he performs here, if he can win this tournament, I think there will be a lot of people joining me in the Vince Robinson can win a national title this year for NC State. And his style is so fun. Of course, we've all seen the viral wrist snaps this guy hits, but he's fundamental. He's hard to score on. He can get to his scores. I can't wait to watch Robinson at CKLV. And 125 just going to be a roller coaster without a doubt, as it has been the last couple of years. Number 5, and in many ways this is number 1, Sammy Sasso. But this is a little different. We had the triumph of his return, and now it's like, okay, let's see where Sammy actually fits in the 165 pecking order, because it's a triumph that he's able to return to wrestling. But now I want to see, could he be an All-American? Could he be back in the NCAA finals? Is that possible for Sammy after everything he's gone through with the gunshot? And we'll learn a lot about Sammy in this field, because it's a very, very difficult field. You've got West Virginia's Peyton Hall, Stanford's Hunter Garvin. You've got Terrell Barraclaw, Cam Amin, Nico Ruiz, among others, all scrapping it out here at 165. If Sammy can run this gauntlet, he quickly re-enters the NCAA finalist contending realm, which would be an amazing, and he make an amazing story even more incredible. We're all rooting for Sammy, rooting for his success, but it still seems a little unsure just how good he is. We'll learn a lot in Vegas this weekend. Can't wait to watch Sammy. Another big storyline is just the freshmen. You know, this is where you can see freshmen have those breakout tournaments and get on our radar. And this year, probably not going to be much different. There's a lot of talent that hasn't really faced this level of rigor in NCAA wrestling. We got Aiden Valencia from Stanford. I believe he's going to be wrestling here. I think he can go with just about anyone short of Jesse Mendez at this weight class. You got Vincent Robinson, already talked about him, Christian Carroll, Tyler Knox from Stanford. He actually wrestled in Vegas last year, but they still registered him. He had some nice wins, including one over Nick Bouzakis. He already beat Drake Ayala this year, so how's Knox going to look? You've got Lorenzo Norman from Stanford, so a lot of Stanford freshmen. You got Biskins for NC State at 141. Who else am I missing? Let me look at my sheet. Oh, Rafael Hipolito for Virginia Tech. This is one of the most exciting wrestlers at 157. Make sure you're watching him, as well as Jim Mullen. Going to be a great opportunity for many of these freshmen to show what they can do. Ethan Stiles from Oregon State, another really tough guy. So this is a big opportunity for them. I think some of them can make noise, but I feel like in previous years, I had a little more hope that some of these freshmen would be able to break through and win a title. Really, as I eyeball it, I think only Vince Robinson and probably not even Aiden Valencia can contend for a very high placement. But the freshmen can certainly prove me wrong in that regard, but I still can't wait to see how they all perform. Next up, number 3, this team race. Now we've got 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ranked teams all duking it out, all entered at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. And really over the last 4 out of the last 5 years, Nebraska has won this. They always wrestle really well. They have a great team. And what Nebraska brings, and that they're going to bring this year, they bring a top to bottom team. It's not a team that has, 2 superstars and then they have some other weights that don't perform well. They really perform well at every weight. And this year isn't much different. They have maybe one questionable weight, but 1 through 9, this is a loaded Nebraska Cornhusker squad. But I think they're looking up at Oklahoma State, and this is really the first huge test for David Taylor's Cowboys and for David's first season as the head coach of Oklahoma State. There's a there's added emphasis. There's more eyeballs on this team this year to see just how good they are. And I think they are poised to win this. I think Oklahoma State will win Cliff Keen Las Vegas. They have guys that are likely or potentially favored to win NCAA or win Cliff Keen finals, like Wyatt Hendrickson. You've got someone emerging like Luke Serber. He's going to have his hands full. Dustin Plott looks like likely finalist at minimum for Cliff Keen. Dean Hamady has been a bonus point machine. Cam Amin, this is an opportunity for him to get some of those losses back he suffered already this year. Troy Spratley could win this bracket, right? So I think Oklahoma State is a favorite, but you can't count out Iowa State. They won it last year. If they're healthy and they have all their guns in the lineup, they're going to be really, really tough to beat. You've got Ohio State, you've got Cornell, you've got a host of other really tough teams entering the mix here. So I'm super excited for the team race and particularly to watch Oklahoma State and David Taylor's first time wrestling at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. Okay, number 2, Ridge Lovett, the Ridge Redemption Tour. It's not exactly redemptive, but what he's able to do or what he's able to prove and maybe reestablish himself is not just a guy who could place at NCAAs, but kind of restart that conversation of Ridge Lovett likely to win an NCAA title. And if you look at this weight, you've got Caleb Henson, where a year ago it was Ridge that beat Caleb Henson, and it kind of put Ridge in the driver's seat to be the 1 seed at NCAAs, but he fell to Henson. So this is the rubber match between Ridge Lovett and Caleb Henson potentially. But there's also other really tough guys in there like Ty Waters. And I think the conversation quickly became Caleb Henson and Shane Van Ness for 149. And I think the cart got a little bit ahead of the horse. And now there's no doubt. Look at what Caleb Henson did last year. He's the national champion. He is the guy to beat. There's no doubt about that. But I think the margin is still very, very narrow. And you got to remember, this was a 1-0 win for Caleb Henson in the NCAA finals. Ridge Lovett is right there. And, can he get a takedown? Now, this is also an opportunity for Caleb Henson to shift the narrative and maybe say, okay, he's pulling away. He's continuing to get better. But I think for Ridge Lovett, he is, I think this is close to a coin flip match. As great as Caleb Henson is, I still give Ridge a great shot with his leg defense and with his top wrestling. He's going to be in every single match. And while 149 became Van Ness and Henson in a lot of people's minds after Shane Van Ness kind of dismantled Ty Waters at the All-Star Classic, I think it's more of a 3-horse race right now. And I think we're going to learn a lot about that with Henson and Ridge Lovett, Ty Waters, among others, all wrestling here at Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. And then my number 1 reason, no doubt, is AJ Ferrari. How is this guy going to look? And you look at this weight class, you got Glazier, that bitter rivalry they kind of established at Soldier Salute. You've got Trey Munoz, Oregon State. You've got Luke Serber, his former teammate from Oklahoma State. You've got Jacob Cardenas from Michigan now, who is potentially one of his biggest obstacles to winning a national title. All eyes are going to be on AJ on the mat, but also off the mat. How is he conducting himself? How's AJ seem, mentally? Is he focused? Is he able to be locked in? We've seen a locked in AJ Ferrari is a tough guy to beat. And that's what we want to find out at Vegas. Just what AJ Ferrari are we going to get? So those are my 6 biggest reasons, but why are you tuning in for Cliff Keen Las Vegas? And if you weren't going to tune in, I hope you're a little more motivated. You're not going to want to miss this wrestling action starting December 6th and 7th from Las Vegas.